Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to view and listen to our group strategic audit on General Electric. General Electric, or GE for short, is an innovative technology and services company. They consider themselves the best infrastructure company in the world. Their portfolio includes leadership franchises in oil and gas, healthcare, energy, transportation, aviation, water, digital media, and consumer products. Due to the economic turmoil that has affected the world, GE realized that it was time for a change and saw a tremendous opportunity to renew itself strategically. They recognized this need and realized that without strategic change, they could not survive. GE has committed to 4 fundamental goals as the base for any new business plan. The first of the 4 goals mentioned is to keep GE safe and secure. The aligned current strategy involves increased investment in research and development. The company has also positioned itself to capture new opportunities through investments. They see a future by increasing those investments in industrial growth, but will only grow strategically in financial services. The second goal listed is to execute and position their infrastructure businesses to perform through the cycles. The aligned current strategy involves GE strengthening relationships across their businesses with emerging market governments who look at infrastructure in its totality, and by doing so can position themselves in pockets of growth to expand their position in countries such as Australia, Brazil, India, China, where these countries' markets are growing rapidly. The third goal is to protect the franchise and the brand. The aligned current strategy involves seeking out the help of employees, managers, and the board. Not only do they strive to back up products that will build its name, but also they believe that without these 3 groups of people, the company could not function and reach its maximum potential. And lastly, the 4th goal, which is to create financial flexibility. The aligned current strategy involves the cutting of employment to keep costs down, raising of equity, and cutting the dividends. This leads them to have more cash on hand to invest back into their business.
The downturn of the dot-coms cut GE stock in half. By the beginning of 2003, GE traded near $25 a share, and by 2007, the multinational corporation gained back some momentum and returned to just over $41 per share. But the global economic decline beginning in 2008 sent GE back to the low teen range. On January 30th, 2011, GE closed at $12.13 a share, and on February 27th of this year, the share slipped to $8.51, representing a 29% decline.
GE is an internationalized company. It has its foot in multiple markets where it obtains its revenue. It's seen as a multiple industry leader, and it has experience in successful overseas acquisitions. These are the strengths that build GE. However, with its venture into real estate and the real estate market crash, increased payment defaults and foreclosures, sustained levels of unemployment, and increasing costs of pensions and healthcare, these are some of the weaknesses that GE is experiencing. Some of GE's opportunities are further expansion and acquisitions of foreign markets, the ability to further leverage those markets, and growth in the aviation and financial sector. However, global competition in the various sectors, fluctuation in different markets, consumers' capacity to repay debt, market acceptance of new products, and 2 pending class action lawsuits are some of the threats GE can foresee.
After analyzing GE's external environment, we were able to determine that over 50% of their revenue comes from overseas operations. With that being said, global economic conditions have a direct impact on how they do business. Their competitors, such as 3M, United Technologies, and Textron, are gaining competitive advantage because they're able to adapt quickly to changing global economic environments. In order for GE to stay ahead of the game, they need to be able to adapt faster than these companies do. Doing so would maintain their competitive advantage in the industry.
Based on prior analysis and in correlation with GE's current strategic plan, we have identified 3 options that GE should consider. The first one is technology market. The pro would be that this would boost their reputation through the enhancement of society. The con is that this could end up being very costly and they would spend a lot of money. The second is energy conservation. The pro is this would obviously benefit the world's environment, and also the government would become a primary customer, making GE very profitable. The con is that this has too many different options to focus on just one. The last one is research in top sector. The pro is it can become an industry leader in the aviation sector. The con is that this industry already has a lot of strong competition like Boeing and Lockheed Martin, and it could be difficult for them to compete. After evaluating the options, there are two that align closely to one another. The first one is energy conservation. This may prove to be more beneficial on a short-term basis because the large amount of options can actually be used to generate short-term profits. The other one is research in top sector. This is a highly profitable option because GE is already very successful in the aviation sector. Extending that to all means of transportation won't be such a daunting task.
GE is an international company, which means that they operate in every part of the world. The decisions that they make should always have both local and global considerations in all aspects. GE is also subject to legal proceedings and legal compliance risks. They have to make sure that proper due diligence is always performed in order to guarantee that all regulations are followed across products, across markets, and across countries. When making strategic decisions, GE seeks out the help of employees, managers, and the board. This obviously makes them reach the best decisions. However, they must be aware of conflicts of interest. The board might be worried about one thing, while employees are worried about another. A risk that GE is currently facing is increasing costs in pension and healthcare benefits. This may reduce their profitability. However, GE should be asking the governments for help in order to ensure that the general population is properly taken care of. For example, benefit plan costs have increased because of early retirement, something GE did not foresee. However, what they could do is incentivize people not to retire early. GE's credit risk may increase when the collateral they have placed cannot be realized upon the sale, or is liquidated at prices that are non-sufficient. What GE can do is extend transactions on longer terms.
Based on this audit, we found that GE seems to be in tune with their surroundings and always seem to leverage off their strengths in order to succeed. GE is stronger in some regions by increasing their market share there. They change their business strategies as needed to adapt and succeed. GE is committed to 4 fundamental goals, which allow to follow different business strategies or change current strategies without losing focus. We recommend GE needs to determine which of its areas to focus on. Each line of business needs to be evaluated, not only on profitability but also on whether or not it supports the overachieving business strategy. GE's evaluation of sectors to determine how much value is being added should be a benchmark and become part of their best practices to determine alignment with their business strategy. Finally, continued success can only be guaranteed by adhering to these best practices and by being able to adapt to the global business environment when necessary. We feel GE has the capacity to do so.